Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of Walking 90. I'm your host, as always, Elliot Barr, and is joining me is a man that had to drive all the way back from the suburbs, so that's when we started late. It's Mr. Chip. How are you doing, sir?
I don't regret it. They had carne asada on sale. Tomorrow's going to be wonderful. But yeah, it was out in the burbs, out by Werner Park. It was a thing.
This carne asada, how good is it? Like, is it top level?
Well, when I
it's got to be good enough that you're driving out to the suburbs for it.
Well, we needed baby formula and dog food and gas, and the carne asada was more of a secondary thing.
So is it wet meat or dry meat?
Wet then dry. You got to marinate it in some juice to break it down a bit. Well, it was a cheap cut until everyone found out it was good. So you got to marinate it a little bit, break it down.
You got to play with it a little bit. Just,
exactly.
You get it warmed up.
Yogi, we just started, man.
I was seeing how long I can go. And also joining me is a man that has probably neglected his two kids for Zelda. It's Mr. Kyle Carr. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. It's been a while since I've been on here. Now I think about it. Between work, actually, it's just been work trips. But I'm good. Yeah, Zelda's been great. I was playing that before we started. Probably play a little bit more after this. It's such a great game.
Yeah,
it's on sale at Costco now. You can get it for $59.99 instead of $69.99. So I also picked it up today. So I will be going down that rabbit hole 2 hours at a time after bedtime for the next.
I know myself. I wasn't gonna wait I was gonna wait 2 weeks just to save $10. I got that shit. I downloaded it as soon as it hit midnight.
Well, this was again a Bob Ross happy little accident, and I friend of the program, Weston. I sent him a picture of like my coupon code for it. And he's like, oh, damn, I thought you'd wait longer. And it's like, well, it was on sale and it's Nintendo. So it's never going to go on sale ever. So I might as well like get the sale while I can get the sale.
True.
Yeah.
So it's like,
For me, I just wait for PlayStation Network to drop the games I want. So I just picked up Ratchet & Clank, the latest one that happened. It came out like a year ago. I haven't started it yet because I'm in like this intense FIFA career mode right now. But once the summer starts, I will start playing it.
I think I got an email about Ratchet & Clank being available now, so I was like, huh.
Yes.
I still need to play. Well, I got Miles Morales. Oh, yeah. It's been great, but Zelda's going to take up all my time until God knows when.
Yeah, I can believe it. If with all the clips I've seen about it, it looks very fun. Now that I think about it, I wonder how many players in USL League 1 are like avid gamers. Because I feel like there's a few, but I feel like they're so scared to come out and say it. Like I know EVD is Call of Duty, but I figured there's got to be someone else. Like, who's the best player in 2K in League 1?
I know in Madison, there's a few of them that play FIFA. One of them, I'm trying to remember who, is a big Overwatch person, and I'm trying to remember who it was.
Yeah, I know EVD got Call of Duty on lock.
I want to say Derek is Overwatch. One of them definitely plays Overwatch a lot, so that's probably like the non-FIFA game that I know someone plays.
All right. Well, guys, Eb and Brandon are not on with us right now, so they'll be hopping on. Well, Eb probably will hopping on with us a little bit later. Brandon not, because his lovely daughter just got some new glasses, so that's awesome. But yeah, Kyle, to your point, like, I know you weren't on last time's show, but it's kind of like if you miss an episode on the show, you kind of miss a month, and you're all out of the loop for a minute.
It's been a while. And here we go.
His weekly appearance. Has your father neglected you for Zelda?
I have not neglected him for Zelda. I think that's one of my most. I think that's the best parenting I've done. All right, night.
It's good to see the kids on the show. Guys, let's go ahead. Let's dive into some of the news that's been circulating around the league since we've been away. Starting off, first of all, we are going to talk about the NCFC situation, but we're going to wait for Ev to hop on the show to kind of dive deeper into that because he has first-hand experience with it. But in the meantime, USL Super League announces markets. They're applying for D1 status. Charlotte, same group as the Independents, not Charlotte FC. Lexington SC, Spokane, Tucson, all joining in 2024. Lexington right now is in the W League, so they're going to make the jump up. I believe Charlotte is as well, and I believe Tucson is, right?
Charlotte is, Lexington is. I don't remember if Tucson is right now.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure Tucson is.
Yeah, I'm sure. Chattanooga and Madison are aiming for a little bit later. Madison's open in 2025, but Chattanooga, I believe, has a team in the W League right now, so they'll be making a jump up to D1, and I believe that the USL Super will be played fall spring instead of spring fall, like how we normally play.
Yeah,
it's going to be interesting.
Well, the real question is, are they still doing that winter schedule? Because that's going to be real interesting in certain parts of the country.
Yeah, there's going to be a winter break, which I think they said I think it's going to be pretty much like all December and a couple weeks in January. So it's going to be pretty much almost a month and a half off, which isn't a bad thing, but at the same time, it's going to definitely have some schedules probably be very skewed.
Yay. We just hope that no one tears an ACL in the grassy fields of Madison.
Turf. They're going to be playing on hard-ass turf in winter. Yeah,
that's going to be fun.
Unless they change the field as part of like the stadium upgrade, but
that's going to be fun. Moving on from that topic, USL as a whole, Championship and League One has also partnered up with the 988 Lifeline. So for those who don't know, the old hotline got transferred to 988 because they wanted to make it a little bit more easy to remember, almost like 911. But you pretty much call this Lifeline if you're having any mental health issues or if you're thinking about committing suicide. So all the captains in USL League One, I think it's been in like the last week or two, have been wearing armbands with the number on it and everything like that. It is good to see that USL League One is kind of taking the charge on that and making a good partnership with it, because not only do we know that like fans go through tough moments, seeing your team lose or giving up a last minute goal, but these players go through it as well. So it's good to see that USL as a whole is kind of help producing that.
Yeah, for sure. I think there's a lot of stigma around mental health, especially around young men. And so I think it's really important to get out there, talk about it, let people know they're not alone and that there's resources available for them. So one of the leading causes of death of young men is suicide. And, you're all loved, if by nobody else, by all of us here on Walking 90s. So, if you are having any sort of ideation like that, call 988. 988. Talk to your friends, get a therapist, whatever you need to do. But your mental health is just as important as your physical health. And we all want to see you at the next game. So,
So that's a real important partnership that they got going on. And then the last little bit of news that we have is that USL signs a deal with the Soccer Syndicate on scouting for USL League 2. So from what we're seeing from what USL wants to do is kind of want to make that pyramid a success. From USL Academy to League 2 to League 1 to USL Championship. It is good to see that they're getting some proper scouting in USL League 2 because there's a lot of talent, and a lot of the guys that we are going to be talking about later in this show have come from the USL League 2 ring, have spent time in the USL League 2 ring. So it's good to see now that they're kind of getting proper scouting and help there, because I think the only thing really missing from USL League 2 is if they had like a TV deal, maybe you could watch, I don't know, something on ESPN Plus, but just take like the 3 best games of the week and highlight them. I think that's the next step for USL League 1, is just to get more visibility on the league. You feel me?
Yeah, I think that's going to be huge in terms of getting the information that you need quicker, because instead of having it, because I know right now it's probably just you're hoping that you dive into a team's stream and that it's been saved so that you can rewatch it. And I know some clubs it's like it's through 11, some clubs it's on YouTube, some clubs do it on, maybe they do it on their own. So it'll just be easier to at least get information that you need, so that way you're not having to manually do it yourself, because we already see the league struggling with getting stats in a timely manner on sites like FotMob and hell, even their own site. I can only imagine it's a lot more difficult when you're trying to do it in USL League 2. So this should be a positive thing. I feel like it can't hurt, and it just kind of solidifies that they're trying to have that, kind of like what you said, the pyramid aspect of it.
Right. And I think there's a lot of guys who want to play pro who don't get picked up by a MLS, USLC, USL1, NISA team. And so they end up in like a USL2. And so for those guys, especially like getting signed on a contract's probably top of mind. So having the resources for those guys to get picked up, or having the resources for a kid that's going to graduate from college to kind of have kind of a sort of an idea where they're going to go after college, depending on how their season go. It's super valuable, especially because there's a lot of USL2 teams to wade through. It's a lot of players.
Yeah, I think it's a league of consistent over 100 teams
at least.
Yeah, 100 teams. I'm not gonna lie, it's amazing. I'm always amazed how USL League 2 can at the end of the year have like a functional playoff bracket. Like it's full blown March Madness at that point. Yeah. And how they do it year in and year out it blows my mind.
122 teams in 18 divisions in 4 conferences. So there's a lot of players,
and it works.
USL too. Yeah,
it works.
And most of it's regional, which is super cool. I know we've been following. I'm friends with some Des Moines Menace fans, so it's kind of cool seeing them travel all over the Midwest to go to games in like Wichita and Chicago and places like that. So that's pretty cool. I know it's super regional, so those fans can travel. And we've seen teams come up from USL2 into USL1, like our good friends in One Knox SC. Tucson's down in USL2 for a little bit before coming back. And so it's definitely a proving ground. And in USL2, there's a lot of clubs that we could see up in USL1 someday, like FC Wichita, FC Fort Wayne, Ballard out in Seattle area, Lane United.
I was going to say Lane.
PDXFC. These are all teams that we could be seeing in League One one day. They post better average attendances than some League One teams. And then obviously Des Moines is skipping League One and going straight to championship, but that's because they have, I'm going to buy a Serie A team money. So
yeah, no, it's good to see kind of like if the Scotland network improves, things will steadily improve. Like we've seen it with League One players making a move up to championship players making a move up to MLS, so on and so forth. If you start building those foundations, definitely in the lower levels, it helps out a lot. So it's good. It's good all the way around. Before we go into the match recaps, the games that we happened on the last week, we are doing our power rankings. So we'll get to that as soon as possible, guys. Let's go into these match recaps. The way how we're going to do this, it's kind of like a 3-word review. So I'm going to give you guys a game. You guys give me your 3-word reviews, and we'll dive a little bit deeper into it if we need to. All right. Putting you guys on the spot because I like that. It's fun.
All right.
So we'll start off first. One Knox beats Greenville 2-1. Chip, what is your 3-word review?
Coming up big. Knoxville kind of struggled, and now they're seeming to find the wind in their sails. I think when we come to our power rankings, there might be some people surprised with how high they are. They're a team that was kind of hanging out down below with like the Lexingtons of the world, and they're coming up, and they may be the scary team that we thought they were going to be in preseason.
Mm-hmm. Kyle, what is your 3-word review, sir?
Goals without penalties. The thing that One Knox was doing really well was winning penalties and scoring most of their penalties. And I think at one point they only scored like 2 non-penalty goals. So the fact that they were able to win and score goals without having any penalties, I think is finally starting to come good in terms of what this attack can be. And getting goal of the week helps as well. So I think that was probably the biggest thing for me was how they were finally able to get some goals that weren't from penalties.
It was funny though. I saw someone online was making a comment about how Knoxville has had more penalty kicks this year already than Madison's ever had. And it's I think it was League One Updater was like, well, actually, like if you look, handball in the box, shove in the back in the box. It's like, well, those are all like kind of real penalties.
Oh yeah. It wasn't the fact that the penalties weren't legit. It was just the fact that they had that many penalties.
Oh, it's one of those like, that's
weird. What the fuck is that luck?
Yeah. It's like, huh.
Well, I mean, Kyle, your team has the best of luck to shoot in front of goal in years past. So,
I mean, maybe for the penalty spot, maybe some penalties will get some confidence going. I don't know. We're good at saving them.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'll see.
What?
Joining us on the show is Eb. How are you doing, homie?
Good. What's going on?
There's not a beer and a camera equipment anywhere near you, is it?
She's out at a bar, so I think this is like
Not a beer.
Is there camera equipment near you?
No.
Okay, so we're good. All right, let's go to the next game. Richmond beats Lexington. Kyle, let's start over you. What is your 3-word review, sir?
only 3 words. That's tough. Nice scrappy win.
Okay.
I think Lexington is a team that you're not going to just easily blow past. You're not going to just. They're going to give you a tough fight. So I think getting scrappy wins and getting the 3 points however you can is always going to be good. So I'll say nice scrappy win.
Okay. Chip, what is your 3-word review, sir?
I'm trying to get my wife to get me a beer. Is this Richmond Lexington?
Yes.
Better than looks. 2-1 against maybe the worst team in the league is not the best thing, but then you look and it was a smart penalty in the 3rd minute of stoppage time at the very end of the game. You know, I think Richmond, I know we joked about it, and I posted some baiting tweets to get the Richmond fans all riled up the other day, but yeah, I mean, I think Richmond looks like a great team, and this is a better result than it looks like. And I think Richmond, again, is set to be possibly a title contender if it wasn't for the 2 teams in North Carolina.
Yep. You got a 3-word review?
Only late goals, because what the fuck is this? I mean, does this game, well, there could be also 3 other words, back on track. Does this put you back on track to a more solid effort in front of goal?
I think it is a win to put us back on track because I think we're coming to the softer part of our schedule so far. Because if you look at who we had to open against, it's been Greenville twice, Charlotte twice, NCFC, Union Omaha. Like, it's kind of like us constantly banging our head against like the top of the table team so far. And we haven't had like the likes of Lexington and One Knox, another team. Not saying they're bad or anything, but it's obviously softer than, you know, the provincial heavyweights that we've seen year in and year out.
Yeah. I should have had the tweet up for this, but I believe his League One updater did a whole like a RBI kind of situation, strength of schedule deal.
Yeah.
And Richmond was like, I believe they were number 1 by quite a bit.
Yeah. We're out there, yo. Like, if you look at like who we played over the year against versus like, I don't know, Chattanooga, right? Like it's up there. It's tough. Yeah. All right, next game. Chip, Union Omaha versus Chattanooga 3-3 draw. Eb, what is your 3-word review, homie?
What the fuck?
Hey, that was mine.
Perfect. I think that's it. I think that's all we need.
So, excuse me, as an Omaha fan, I think I can provide the proper incitation. What the fuck?
There we go. That's the better way to say it.
And that's also the same one for Greenville, Omaha, which we'll get to later. But yeah, seriously, what the fuck was that? Like,
Chip, your team has given up 6 goals, yet has scored 6.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get to it when we get to power.
We'll get to it with power ranking
because I have some comments, but you know, I don't know. Like watching that game, and I'm pulling up the box score right now because I was trying to do my points per game ranking on the sly real quick while we were talking, so I didn't have it up. But you know, that was definitely one of those games where I was watching at. If anybody's familiar with who Mike Vamosi is, friend of the program,
I've seen him on Twitter, but
you've seen him on Twitter. But he had there's a meme from him in the Open Cup last year when we were facing SCSC or SKCFC or whatever the fuck their name is. And it's just him going like, after they go up 6-0. And that was me sitting in St. Andrews watching that game. Like every single time it felt like we put that away, they find a way to just like crawl back and crawl back and crawl back. And it's like, what is going on? And so,
oh, we're being fancy here.
I love the presentation.
It's very nice. Go to one trip to Europe and all of a sudden, but I mean, we just could
Fucking
not
wealth.
put them away. And then, of course, they scored that last goal in the 3rd minute of stoppage time at the very end of the game. And then you had the biggest heartbreaker of it was when Nuhu had to stop a PK. And we were all sitting in the bar like, God damn it. And
those are my 3 words. Nuhu saves Omaha.
again,
If I could use a 4th word, it would be again. But I only get 3.
Also could work for their next game.
Yeah.
There's a trend.
I don't know, man. We're going to talk about it, but I just want to say this about Union Omaha. This went from a week where y'all could have had 6 points and be near the top of the table to where y'all walk away with 2 points and everyone's like, what the
You're lucky.
fuck?
You're lucky you got 2.
Right. It's like,
Right.
probably should have had 6, but also luckily you walked away with 2.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
No. And I don't think I've ever seen a game go, like 2 games back-to-back for the same team go from, oh, we're really, really good to, oh, we're really in trouble.
Yeah. I got asked at the stadium what my thoughts were after the game, and I just said, that's League One, baby.
I mean, the weird part is Omaha's always been defensively good. And now and offensively, especially last year, they struggled last year.
Yeah.
And now it's the opposite this year. It's like, well, they can score goals at least.
Yeah.
They can't defend, which is shocking because considering the defenders they brought in and they have Nuhu,
Mm-hmm.
you would think it'd be better. But
Well, imagine how bad it would look if we didn't have Nuhu.
Oh God.
there's a lot of teams right now that things would be a lot worse if it wasn't for their goalie.
Yeah, which we'll get to it more in the power rankings because I got some medium spicy takes on it.
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to our next 3-word review. Fuego beats Tormenta. Eb, what is your 3-word review, homie?
3 words to describe whatever happened. Georgia, you okay?
I think that sums it up perfectly because it's like this team. Well, first of all, Tormenta gets Arthur Bosa back, and we're all sitting there. I think we all collective was like, all right, Fuego should be able to get out of this game. Yeah, they might give up a goal because it's Tormenta, but they should walk out of this with a win. Looking at this game, man, that's one of the wins where if I'm a Tormenta fan or I'm a Tormenta player, I'm kind of looking at my coach side eye like, what we doing, boss?
I mean, and it's not even like Tormenta dominated and then lost it at the end. No, they had to come back twice to get to 1-1 and 2-2. So
it's the way how they gave up the 3rd goal that really just puzzles me.
it's just
Tormenta. Okay, my 3 words for this: fuck it, of course. Because as soon as we're just saying Fuego's dead, bury him. This team, we're not sure if they're going to get through the season, let alone week by week. And then, of course, they would fucking go and win this game. It makes complete sense. They also had 4 shots on target and scored 3 goals.
League One, baby.
Is crazy.
Tormenta took 20 shots.
right.
Oh my god! And this is the crazy thing, man. Like this is a Fuego team that there's still no Victor Falk starting. Ant-Man is nowhere to be found. The defense is open as the highway, and yet you walk out of this with a 3-2 win after the horrendous start to your season.
You missed a good one there. Ant-Man stuck in the quantum realm.
Boo.
Damn, there you go. You're right.
Sorry.
They missed that one.
I don't understand
good point.
Fuego. They won their first game against Chattanooga. Didn't win a game since until this week.
And
Right.
people were coming at us. It was like, "Oh, y'all was laughing at y'all was laughing at Fuego." Multiple people said this.
Yes, I still
We
am.
can't prove right.
This ain't shit.
Which, after all the slander we've had for Fuego on this podcast recently, I was shocked to see them like a rather lighthearted tweet of ours. And that's like,
I think they know it's from love. Like,
Also, the stats are right there to show. Like,
yeah, I mean,
kind of shit.
you can't really polish a turd, right? Like,
they gonna try. They
This
gotta
is more
win.
damning of Tormenta, if anything, than it is.
Yeah.
Like, good job, Fuego, for getting your win. But this is more of an indictment of what the fuck's going on with Tormenta.
which I don't want to get Brandon made, so I am bad at pointing to things on the camera, but I'm wearing my Bolt shirt tonight. one of my Bolt shirts tonight.
Fear the
And I just
bird.
got to say, my 3 words are chin up, Buttercup. You know, it's a long season. Bad losses happen. You know, you took a punch to the chin, but the bell rang. But it's all about what happens next round. A lot of rounds to go, make it through. You know, you can still do a lot this season. But man, that's a bad loss.
Hey man, this is like Joe
that's
Fournier
some
getting
fear,
elbowed
that
by
bird.
KSI. Like they just got elbowed by KSI over here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next we have coming up is Charlotte beats NCFC in the Dogwood Dell Derby, or as Twitter would like to know it as the Pour the Cups Out for the Dead Homies Derby. Beats them 2-1.
May beer showers bring bitter June flowers.
Ah.
That was more than 3 words.
I got 3 words.
Well, that's not my
Update
3
your
words.
resume.
That's just...
Update your resume.
My 3-word review is keg stand anyone?
Hey, we had a keg.
I know.
I don't know. I'm not clever enough to do it, but it needs to be something about Charlotte FC is not the only team with beer showers. Which it's funny because it was an awesome game. It was a great game, you know, game of the week last weekend, but it got overshadowed by, 30 seconds of stupidity and, whatever else. No one's talking about the game. Everyone's talking about the beer shower.
Do you want to take a minute and talk about it?
I mean, sure. Okay, so a couple things. One, when all of this happened, no one saw what happened. And to further, excuse is a bad word. It was a really bad moment. But there's really nothing you can do about it now. I guess the biggest thing is there are a lot of Charlotte people that were in mentions, and even some local people here from Raleigh in my mentions, and well, not just my mentions, in mentions, who were very, I don't want to say hypocritical, but you literally just dealt with this the night before with beer showers and people throwing beer onto fields, and now you're in our mention saying, oh, well, that's bad. So it's good when your team does it for a game, but bad when we do it. That's neither here nor there. I don't want to make an excuse for a very poor judgment call to pour beer on someone's equipment. We have spoken to the team, to Charlotte. We have told them we will cover anything that was damaged. It sounds like NCFC also did the same thing. And my biggest concern is I won't. Well, I guess I keep saying make excuses. There's really no good way to look at this. So you're right. No one's talking about the game. No one's talking about a terrible, terrible performance that we put on in that second half. In the first half, we were on top of them. There's no way we should not have scored at least 3 goals. But then we just slept for 15 minutes and they got 2 quick ones, and that was it. But like you said, there's no one talking about that. They're talking about someone pouring a beer, and here we are, right? So I mean, I'll answer any questions about it, but it's always going to be fuck Charlotte for me.
My only question is, my only statement is that second half seemed like you blew all of your beer in the second half against Richmond, and now I have to ask, why do y'all always do this to us? Why?
I didn't even go to that Richmond game. I didn't see it in person. You had me beat. I was like, you know what? I didn't go to that game, and I was like, oh, I'm kind of glad I didn't. And then to go from that high of a 3-2 comeback in 15 minutes to a 2-1 loss to Charlotte in a dumb derby. I don't like that it's called Dogwood Derby. It's so stupid. I'm
not calling it that.
Burn that name to hell.
Well, it's like everyone has Dogwood cheese. We have them here too.
There's so many better names for this. You know what? We're gonna have an episode where we shop around Derby names.
Please
we can
no.
do that for one of our off weeks.
Ooh, no, that's a good one. Let's go through and rank the Derby names and then come up with a better one.
I mean, that beer was probably like $6, Tim. I don't know.
I
had liquor on the bus. That was
my only thought of that whole situation. It was just one of those where it sucks because obviously with the dead whales, it's like you're all of a sudden you have these cops coming over and like all this shit's happening. You're like, what the fuck? And you don't know what's going on. And then there's video of like, oh no, there is a reason why they are there, and it made complete sense. And everyone looks bad because you have one side in terms of like their tweets and everything. They're like, okay, why the fuck is this happening? And then there's obviously this situation where it's like, well, that's why it's happening. But like you said, apparently no one knows. And even the person next to that person that poured it was like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
So it's just like one person's actions has caused this whole shit show.
So I will also say that we literally had already had cops and staff come over to us in the first half because we were standing and chanting. Like they came over the first time and they were like, oh, you're hitting players on the field with your flags and you're saying bad things, so stop it. And I'm like, we're at a soccer game. What do you mean?
Also, why were you like? It looked like. Yeah, I know this is taking away from the point. We'll get to the next one, but I just want to ask this: it looked like y'all supporters group was like very close to their supporters group.
No, we weren't. So they have. So they, as you know, they cut off half of the stadium, right? So it's just that TV side. Their supporters group was on the other side, but you couldn't hear them. We were sitting next to some kids who, once we started chanting, they were louder than the supporter group on the other side of the wall.
Okay.
Right. So it's literally kids with like some Charlotte flags and like a El Salvador flag. Like, and then the funny
kids will get into chants.
They must have a Geo fan there.
like, it was wild. So they also put us in a section behind other people.
Yeah, I've been to Charlotte.
So nothing about it made any sense about what we were doing. So we were supposed to be in 101, but then they had family sitting in front of us in 101. And then we were told to move to 103.
Yeah, we just walked to the other side of the stadium, like as close as we could get to our bench, and we just made that our section. Because
but they wouldn't let us. I don't know why they don't separate, especially if you're not going to have that side open. Why would you not put away fans on that side? Because that was the whole problem. They were like, we were cursing and cussing at kids and hitting players on the field with flags and other stuff. And I was like, we had like 2 flags or 3 flags, and none of them could reach to like that far to hit someone on the field.
Well, it's also like you guys let us bring him in.
Right.
Like anybody who's ever like been on the away day team for a supporters group knows, like they tell you exactly what you can bring in, exactly what you can't bring in. And you might have someone pretty cool that's like, we don't allow drums, but if you brought in like 5-gallon buckets to carry your stuff and it happened to get turned into a drum, it is what it is.
You take the big drum trash can, and you make it a drum. That's what had to happen in Chattanooga back in 2019.
Yeah.
But it's like, you guys let us bring that in. And I think too, it's just a symptom of a lot of these teams aren't used to having large contingents of away fans, mainly due to like COVID and traveling and everything else. But now, especially since we have that giant contingent of teams all in the Southeast, it's like you better get used to having away fans. And that's like the coolest part about it.
Yeah,
it's one of those where, but the thing is, like, normally, yes, but this is NCFC and Charlotte. Like, they've been doing this for years, so it should be.
No, it's always a shit show when we go down to Charlotte.
But I was saying, like, it would be one thing if it is kind of like a Lexington, even like the Madison, Greenvilles, Chattanooga. It's like they're still trying to figure things out. But like with these two teams, like they've been doing this for years.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
I think we got through that. Yeah, it's always interesting with Charlotte's in the mix. Last game, the game that happened last night.
There's a team that played last night. Oh wait, I'm lying.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
There was a game last night.
3-word review, buddy.
Fuck me.
He gave you 2. He gave you 1 to spare.
I'm giving you 1 back. Someone else can have my other one.
Defense is fucking optional. I'll take the 1 and I'll add. Defense is fucking optional.
A lot of F words on our 3-word descriptions this week.
I mean,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the league office is loving this podcast tonight.
You know,
Do they listen to us?
Oh, you'll be surprised.
Well, we just got reached out to about what guests we wanted to have on soon, so maybe that'll get rescinded after this episode. You know, I feel like we're a little cursy. It happens. There's an explicit tag on iTunes for a reason.
This isn't the worst things we've said, though.
Oh yeah, no, like.
Oh no, I definitely take the show from PG-13 to a rated R.
We had a whole episode based off of OnlyFans jokes.
Oh yeah,
those were extenuating circumstances.
I forgot about that.
I'm just saying.
But no, I mean,
I was in my bag that day.
That's and it's frustrating. Again, we were up 3-1 late in the game. There's a penalty kick. Devin Boyce converts, which is all sorts of emotional whatever. Then of course Lobovitz scores that absolute fucking laser from like 30 yards out, and then it's like, well, shit. And then they had like 7 corner kicks in a row, and it's just like, man, we're gonna lose after being up 3-1, aren't we? And it was a bit more like I was a bit more reserved for our fate, so I felt a little bit more relieved to come out with 1 point. But again, it's like that's we got 2 points. We should have had 6, but you're really grateful you had 2. And I will say this was kind of a bit of an argument on Omaha Twitter. How do we feel about the unwritten rule about players celebrating against their former teams?
It's someone that have Victor Falk, Olex Anderson, possibly Joe Gallardo score against me. You don't pay my check no more and let them celebrate. That's fine.
I mean, as long as you're not being a dick about it.
No, fuck it. Do the Lukaku celebration. When he scored, he went back. He went to Man United, scored against Everton, literally pointing at the badge, running in circles. Yes.
Here's what, but I'll say this: like, if Don Smart scores against Madison, I'm not going to be as upset. If Cardio King scores against Madison, I'm going to be pissed off. Like, if Don Smart celebrates,
would Don Smart know what team he scored against? He played for so many.
That's
teams.
not the point. But if he scores against Madison, and he celebrates, it'll be bummer. But it is what it is. If Cardio King scores against Madison and celebrates, I'm going to be livid.
No, he deserves it.
Yeah,
he deserves it.
Kind of my
so it depends on who the player is.
Mm-hmm. Well,
he deserves it.
Everybody at the stadium and online was like, man, it's going to really suck when Devin scores. And like, what's he going to do? Celebrate? And it's like, man, you need to stop saying that, because that's how you know he's going to score. If all we all talk about is him scoring, what he's going to do when he scores, he's going to score to show us what he's going to do. Which, when you have like a guy like that, who is probably every fan's in their top 3 favorite players from that championship team, like no matter what you do, people are going to be pissed off. Like people were mad about like the little Panenka, and essentially the comment from him was, well, I've done a lot of PKs against Nuhu. He kind of knows what I was going to do. So I had to like reach into my bag of tricks and do something. So it's like, it wasn't a disrespect thing. It's like, he knows what I do during PKs. I had to mix it up. But the funniest part of it though, was I was sitting on the wall out on the berm, and Castro like goes out for like the concussion protocol, and they're doing like the finger test, and the dude's like whole head is falling back and forth. It's like, oh man, you are concussed, sir. Like, you are not supposed to do that. It's supposed to be your eyes, not your whole head. So, he's coming out and it's like, hey, Castro, how many fingers am I holding up? Who's the president of the United States? Like all the concussion protocol questions. And of course he fucking scores and points right at us after he scores. It's like, well, I deserve that.
Yeah.
But also, head injuries are very serious, and we shouldn't make light of them.
Which
is why he should have gone out.
is somewhere
Waited.
pissed about that game.
Yeah, fuck that shit. I'm mad about, especially because then Gio got to talk shit all day.
You know
That's
what?
the worst part.
Gio is the person that will lose a spade game horribly, but he'll talk shit like he just ran a Boston on you.
Oh yeah, I mean Gio's is just for the love of the game. He's going to talk shit no matter what, and I love it. That's what we love about Gio. He's just always going to run his mouth.
Yeah, he is 100% shit talker. 100%. So yeah, those are the week's wrap up. Those are the game wrap ups. I think we're about to go into the fun part of the show now, where we're going to talk about our power rankings. So guys, I think the best way how to do our power rankings, and power rankings are fun, lovely. Everyone in USL League One's outliers have done their power rankings. We waited till week 10 because one thing that we know is that this league is all over the place, and that there's no point in making a power ranking for week 1 when not everyone has played. So we got them now. I think, I'm not gonna lie, I did mine like the BCS. Yeah, that's how I did my power rankings. So should I start off with the averages, or should I just go one by one?
Let's go bottom to top.
Okay. All right. NCFC across the board, we all put as number 1. I think there's not really much to say about it.
I like how Chip said, "Let's go bottom to top."
And he went to
I thought he said top to bottom.
Well, no. Okay, so let's salvage this. Let's go. Like snake draft, top, bottom.
No, we're going top to bottom at this point. It's too late.
Yeah, top to bottom.
Well, all the drama's in the middle. Everyone knows who number 1 and 2 are, and number 12 and 11.
No, because mine are different.
Oh yeah. Ooh.
Someone special.
Okay. All right.
Someone has to be contrarian.
Someone decided to fuck up the average over here.
You're welcome.
All right. Let me start over. We're going to start from the bottom. So this way I know the directions very clearly. And I'm reading this from the ranking, right, Chip?
Yes, which I already made a math error. So.
Oh, God damn it. You ain't never going to get this right. All right. Starting off at 12.
It's been a long week. Long week.
I can agree with that.
Oh, my God.
All right, 12.
Starting off at... Hold on.
It's not
really?
Lexington. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So... Chip,
it's Chattanooga.
No, okay, I was about to say it's Chattanooga, but it's Chattanooga. All weird how you got this written in. So Chattanooga is the worst team in USL League One thus far.
Somehow.
Ev, you got Fuego ranked 8?
We'll get to that. Because that's the problem. This is why the numbers don't make sense.
Okay. So because my head is it. Okay. All right. So start off. My fault, y'all. Wow. Okay. At the bottom is Chattanooga. I think 3 out of the 4 of us had them ranked 11th, and you had them ranked 12th.
Which is fine.
That's fine. I think we can deal with that. Coming in at number 11 is Fuego. Okay, so we got Fuego coming in at 11. The weird thing about this is 3 out of the 4 of us on this show had them ranked 12th. Eb had them ranked 8th. Why?
That is the problem. That 8 made Fuego jump all the way up.
Eb, you got to defend yourself. I'm giving you the big camera for this, homie. Why?
Because you never know what Fuego you're going to get. You could get David Buster's Fuego.
You never know what Fuego you're going to get? Ev, you know exactly what Fuego you're going to get.
No. Fuego can come in and tie you 2-2 or beat you 3-2 or lose 2-0. We've seen all of those results from them these past couple.
Just because of the functional baby daddy doesn't mean they're right.
Fuego won their first game 1-0. They then lost the next game 0-2, 1-1 draw, 0-3, 0-1, 0-1, 0-2.
They have a lot of heart.
You're worse than the USL League One power rankings.
That's what I'm here for.
Hey, I was just trying to get our engagement up on Twitter.
Right.
This is insane. All right. So we got Fuego there. Next, we got Lexington. 3 out of the 4 put them in 10th. I put them at 9th. Not much to discuss there. Coming in at number 9, we have Tormenta. Now, there's a lot of discrepancy about Tormenta. 2 of us had them ranked anywhere between 10th and 11th. Kyle and Chip, you guys had them ranked 8th and 7th. Do we need to talk about this?
I'll explain I'll explain why I have Tormenta at 8 because of the team. I have Lexington 10. The team that I have in 9, I think there is a team that is doing worse than Tormenta. We're just not talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a lot of kind of who's around them. It's not necessarily like they're the 7th best team, but it's like the teams kind of around them maybe aren't. And then we all know that they are good. They had a bit of a slip up, so I think maybe there's a bit of some recency bias. They're a good team. They're a well-coached team. I think they're fine. It's just a little weird little dip. But yeah, like losing to Fuego certainly is not making me feel like the best of prognosticators right now. Like that's
I'm also giving Tormenta a slight benefit of the doubt that once they are healthy, they will be a little bit better.
Right.
I don't doubt that.
Why are we giving them the Kobe contract? Like,
because you gave Fuego 8. That's why.
You mess. If Brandon was here, Brandon would talk about why we don't use mean. We use median. You don't use mean because of outliers, or something like that. Numbers.
Next. We go into Greenville, who is 8th in the poll. The highest that they were ranked is 7th. The lowest they were ranked was 9th. Okay, so I think that's fair for Greenville. I think Greenville and Tormenta, I think you can flip them any other sort of kind of way. Greenville right now really seems to be going through it. Like,
I mean, but can we say the same thing about Tormenta?
Yeah, no. I think you can say the same about both. I think Tormenta is dealing from bad goalkeeping, where Greenville is dealing from. I don't want to be rude. I think age is starting to catch up with their defense.
For me, it's just more the games that Greenville have won. One was against Fuego, which, okay, congrats. Not going to get bonus points for that. The other was Lexington, and that was more. I think that was just like the youth of Lexington really coming out. And Lexington, I honestly think, outplayed Greenville. They probably should have gotten a draw. And the other one was Charlotte, which that was to end Charlotte's unbeaten streak, which that one was weird. Like, good job, Greenville, for that win. So a lot of their 3 wins, one of them, I'm like, okay. Otherwise, lost to Knoxville, drew against Omaha, which they really should have lost. Drew against Richmond, that was a weird one. Got thrashed by Madison. They blew a 2-0 lead against Richmond. They probably should have lost to Omaha. They got thrashed by Madison. They lost to Tormenta earlier. Like, I'm not seeing anything with Greenville that can convince me, okay, they are going to get back on track. That's why I had them lower than Tormenta. Because at least with Tormenta, I can at least point to bad goalkeeping, injuries, whatever. Greenville, it's like, they're just not as good as they are.
Yeah. No, I think that's fair. All right, so we move on from Greenville. We go into Union Omaha, who comes in at 7th. This team kind of, it's kind of even.
I moved them down. I moved them down after last night's game.
Okay, so the highest they're ranked is 6th. The lowest they're ranked is 9th. I don't think there's really much. I think we kind of talked about them in depth already. So we move on to team number 6. Oh, Chip, I'll let you talk about
1 point.
It's my fault.
So I do have him 6th. I didn't know. I think the teams ahead of them are a bit stronger to move them ahead. But I will say the one thing about Omaha is Omaha can score, which is not a thing that traditionally teams in this league have been able to do. So the defense is still pretty new with each other. If they can figure out that defense, they can keep scoring the way they are, like, they're going to be really dangerous. But it's kind of a question of, can they do it in time and can they figure out the defense? And I think that's going to kind of be the storyline for the next third of the season for Omaha is, can we score while learning to play D? Because without Nuhu, it would not be a very pretty situation right now.
Yeah, most definitely that. So we go on to Knoxville, where the average is 6. And Chip, you have them 4th? Talk to me, homie.
I like what I've seen from them. Again, I think they signed some good guys. They have history with each other. They got some good people up. And I think the rest of the league, there's a bit of recency bias with how well they've been doing recently, but it seems like they're starting to put things together up there in Knoxville. And I really wish Omaha had played them earlier in the year because they're looking pretty salty right now. And I think that's definitely a game that if I'm looking at who I don't want on my schedule, they're one of the teams that I'm circling and said, I wish we weren't playing them.
Okay.
And I just think the top three are kind of all pretty obvious. And I think from below there, it's kind of like tiers of, less good teams. I just kind of think they're at the top of that like second tier with like the Omaha Greenvilles and Madisons of the world.
All right. Moving on to fifth. Wow, this is about to get interesting. The highest we have them ranked is third. It is not by Cal, it's by Ebony. And the lowest ranked is ninth by Chip. Ninth? Okay, let's hear
They've
it.
got 2 wins. They've won 2 games. And yeah, they've only have 1 loss, but they've won 2 games. So I think it's really hard to like put them up too high draws, like, as an Omaha fan, draws get you points, draws keep you moving in a positive direction, but they haven't won. So it's kind of hard for me to put them up there. It's kind of been, they've had some really good games. Like the Greenville game was obviously like the high tide mark of their season, but I don't know. And also I'm a hater. So
Eb, why do you have them third? Because Jim just said, like he said, they got 2 wins.
Well, no,
It's like 7 games.
yeah, they have 2 wins, but it's. I
They played
think
the
it's
second fewest amount of games.
I guess because we've seen what their potential could be and they could be hosting a playoff game, right? So yeah, it's only 2 wins, but those were very convincing wins against some very good teams in Greenville. I got them high because I'm hoping that they stay high. I guess I'm contradicting myself. I'm giving them a Kobe contract. I don't know.
Yeah, you're giving them a hell of a Kobe contract based on how we ranked them.
I will say I had them 5th because I don't think they are at the level of the top 4 just yet. And I would say probably top 3. I have NoCo a little bit higher. But the thing for me is Ford Madison's defense has been really, really good. And that if you can have a good enough defense, as I tweeted, you can't lose if you don't allow teams to score. And Ford Madison's done a really good job at not allowing teams to score. The schedule hasn't been the easiest in hindsight now, like starting on the road in Omaha. Then you go to Lexington for their first home game. You get Greenville home, thrash them. You go on, you get Charlotte, who was playing really well, able to hold them to a draw. Go to Knoxville on a midweek. Again, short turnaround. I guess for me, it's the schedule hasn't been a cakewalk. It hasn't been like the most difficult schedule, but it hasn't been a cakewalk either. I think the month of June will give us a better view because Madison's schedule gets a lot easier in June. Like they have Fuego, they have Chattanooga, they'll have NCFC and Richmond back to back, which will be tough, but they get Lexington as well. Like, and Tormenta. Those are the games. If Madison needs to pick up those wins in June, if they can't pick up those wins in June, then it's a little bit more concerning. But as of right now, defensively, probably as a unit, one of the best defenses in the league. But I don't think until they can get the finishing squared away, I can't put them in that next level, which I'd say they're close to NoCo, but I can't put them in that level of Richmond, Charlotte, NCFC, and then NoCo did just come into Madison and beat them. So it would be hard for me to put them ahead of NoCo right now.
Okay. All right. Coming in at 4 is Richmond. The highest they are ranked is 2nd by Cal. And the lowest they are ranked is 5th by Ed. Cal, Ed, I'm going to let y'all go.
For Richmond, I think it just comes back to what I was saying about Madison in terms of their defense. I have more faith in Richmond's defense to do what it needs to. And Terzaghi still hasn't gotten firing, and it's only that. And I feel like it's a matter of time. And it doesn't matter if Joao is going to keep balling out like he did last week. So I have more faith in it. Might be more of a Kobe contract, but as long as they can defend and they're still able to do that.
That's the problem. There are a lot of games where they can't. And
they look, their wins are ugly. They have not played. They don't look good, but they will get what they need to. I'm going to discount. I basically
gave you a better. I gave you a better Fuego contract because you're playing.
I really thought you was about to compare us to Fuego. I was going to remove you from this show. I was about to kick you off this show.
No, you're like you're definitely winning more. You're definitely sometimes scoring more. It's just your defense. Once you get your defense and you actually get like Terzaghi actually involved in more than a game a month, I can see Kyle's number 2.
So I'm going to push back slightly, and I'm not trying to be a Richmond homer, but up until that NCFC game, Richmond had the second best defense in USL League One.
But who were you playing?
Charlotte twice, Greenville, Tormenta.
We've already established on the show that Charlotte, you don't really know what you're getting with Charlotte. Which Charlotte team is showing up?
The Charlotte team that we played against the first 3 weeks of the season, the team that put 5 forwards on the field and was like, go play. That's the Charlotte team we played against. Not the Charlotte team that everyone's up against now, where it's like, they're kind of old. Like, I'm just saying, like, I understand you if you want to put Richmond. I'm not pushing back against that because the offense has been slow. Like, Terzaghi has not been firing up until maybe last week. Our top scorer was Nathan Awney. Like, I'll give you that. But to say that the defense was the issue when I didn't
say it was the only issue.
The NCFC game, the 5 goals that we gave up, only 2 of them were from open play.
I didn't say it was the only issue. I just said it was part of the ongoing issues. It's not the biggest piece, but it is a factor. Because, And
think about it too. Like, this team has played 4 games without Akira. Like, if you said that before any other season without Akira, we're talking about Richmond on Fuego's level. And that team beat Greenville, got a win in Tormenta, a convincing win in Tormenta.
That's not fair, though. Tormenta's down bad right now.
At that point, it was convincing because we were like, oh, we didn't know the full extent of Tormenta. You got to draw against
that game was also like 3-0. Like, it was a wrap, and Tormenta got a consolation goal.
Yeah. And what was the last game he played? Oh, the Charlotte 2-1 loss.
I just trust Richmond's defense enough that, again, if you have a good enough defense, that's fine. You can make it work. And up until recently, Richmond's defense was second to Madison's in goals allowed and chances allowed.
A good defense will carry you in this league. It will carry you. Now, a bad defense won't. But a good defense will carry you in this league. All right, coming in third, we got Charlotte. It's pretty consistent across the board. Outside of Chip, you had them ranked second. The lowest was 4. The high point was 2. Chip, why you got them at second?
Because I don't have them first.
There you go. I like that logic.
To be fair, they were going to be 5th, and then I was like, no, that's too haterish of me. That's a lot of haterade. So I put them at 4. They were going to be 12th on my power ranking.
Oh, my God.
Just so we can get their entire front office and all 6 of their fans in our mentions again, ask why we have them so low. It's like, you have 3 players signed. That's why. And now it's like, because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah.
It's our power rankings. We make the rules.
Yeah. All right, so that's Charlotte. Coming in as second is Noco. Me and Ev had them ranked high as 2. Chip, you have them ranked 5th.
Whew.
I would just like to say this. This guy was right.
Hold as of right now. Chill.
Doesn't matter. I had the most faith. I believed in Delgado, and he has proven me right. I'm buying that man a beer the next time I see him. He's proven me right. Right now, he is honestly the second best keeper in USL League One outside of Pack.
Maybe. He's in it's a competition.
I feel justified in my decision. Okay. Just gonna put that out there. And of course, number 1 is your NCFC. We had them number 1 all across the board. Even though they had the 2-1 loss to Charlotte, I think right now they're above everyone else. I mean, this is a team that can put 5 attackers on the field and still control games with ease.
If NCFC had not beaten Richmond, I think they would have gone down because that would have been 3 losses in a row, and then it's like panic button time. Is this happening again?
See, when John Bradford got Coach of the Month, I was like, no.
Oh yeah, because last year he got Coach of the Month and the team nosedived.
I mean,
And it was looking pretty. You lost 2-0 at home in Madison. You were losing 2-0. You were losing to Richmond at home, and then that could have gotten ugly. But it's fine now. But yeah, they're still number 1, even with this little hiccup.
Yeah, it'd be funny. I mean, I don't think there's much to say. I mean, honestly, right now, it doesn't seem like Rafa Bensinger is probably the league runner for League One MVP.
It feels like it, and then it feels like Olex is coming for
him and Pack,
Golden
I feel
Boot.
like are the kind of top 2.
Yeah.
I think Rafa's right now leaving the Golden Boot with 6 goals.
Yes, 6 goals.
So yeah. I don't know, man. Like that's a team where you can have Rafa, Olex, and Luis out there, and you still got Grant McGoughlin. Who else on the bench? Like
Pop.
a couple other, yeah.
We just lost Rincon to Columbus 2. But that was just a talent that needed to move up to the next level. And we don't have Cole Frame. I think he also went to, and then Britton Fisher went to Loons too. So, like, we're developing talent, but we're also like selling talent and something USL pyramid pro rail something. I don't know.
Wait till they pull a Colorado Springs and sell Rafa like a month before the playoffs to like the Bosnian 2nd division or something for like $200,000.
I will fight.
I still think it's crazy that Colorado Springs has been like first or second in the West for like 3 years in a row, and every year they sell their best player like right before playoffs. It's like, what are you doing?
Just wait a month.
Like, you don't need him that bad. Like, the window's still open when it's over.
Right. I think me personally, I think the only thing right now holding back NCFC right now is the goalkeeper spot. Like, I know how much I love Holiday. I know y'all do. I'm not saying nothing wrong with him, but he's 17. Like, this is a man who got chipped twice from the same spot.
So I love Nick. Love the kid. He's made some very grown man decisions. The PK stop, a couple of really good saves. But then that youth and inexperience pops up sometimes. You're just like, oh yeah, you're 17. You just got beat twice on the same near post. Oh, oof.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, if you get, let's say, if you put Ant-Man in this team, right? Like, it's very different. Maybe that's another show we can do. If you could take one person from one League One team and put in your team, who would you take? We'll think about that later. But yeah, that's where I stand on it. So those are the power rankings. So real quick, just to go over it once again, Chattanooga 12, Fuego 11, Lexington 10, Tormenta 9, Greenville 8, Omaha 7, Greenville 6, Madison 5, Richmond 4, Charlotte 3, NoCo 2, NCFC 1. And the only reason why Fuego is not in the bottom because Ebony decided to put them at 8.
It really is. That's the only reason.
That's the
If she had just given them a 10, they would have been at the bottom. I don't understand how you got about an 8.
I don't either. All right.
Content. Hashtag content.
Right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to move into our match previews. So, guys, let's go ahead. Let's preview the games that's going to happen this week real quick. Charlotte versus Chattanooga. What do we expect to happen in this game, y'all?
2 fights.
2 fights. Wow. Okay. All right. That's going to be fun.
Chaos.
Can I say this and not get in trouble for it?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't like you of anybody on this pod. If Brandon said that, I'd be like, yeah, Brandon, go ahead, buddy. If Yogi says that, it's like, maybe.
Is this the Republican convention derby?
Okay.
I'm just asking.
He
Yeah,
said
fine.
it, and I was like, yeah. Oh, wait. Okay.
Yes, and okay, that's not that bad. Oh man, it was really
Yeah, that was better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
We just need Trump riding the eagle.
There it is.
Shirt off.
Well, because you know every derby
We got to
in
that
USL League
line.
1 now has to have a logo, so that's the logo. Or we
He
can
got
get the
right there.
All the league approved ones, at least.
yeah, we could get the South Carolina governor riding a donkey between Charlotte and Chattanooga. We can do that as well.
We were right here at that line, and you were doing so well to just be like right under it.
Just asking a question. All right. I'm probably not going to be allowed to either one of those things. That's fine with me because I don't think black people are allowed there either.
Hey, I'm blocked by Chattanooga, and I forget sometimes. So I'm like looking to see who they signed. It's like, oh yeah, that's right. I'm blocked by Chattanooga.
They didn't just put it. Chattanooga did put a tweet like, "Oh, we're gonna do upgrades to the stadium." It's like, oh, right. Good
For
you.
who?
For the women.
God, Lexington versus Knoxville.
All right. So this is what is this called? The whiskey derby or something? And we
Bourbon.
gotta, yeah.
Bourbon
The
Barrel
bourbon.
Derby, which is funny because I think you can only make bourbon in Kentucky. You can't make it in Tennessee.
We
but-
got to choose better derby names for these games, man.
Well, they got a big barrel. That's cool. I'm sure they'll do something fun with it.
What are
I'm
they
sure
about to bench press the barrel?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think like the trophies that you can do something with are always better. Like the belt, that's fun. Like sometimes the players will do like the little like belt symbol when they're Omaha and Greenville are playing. That's always cool. I guess with the barrel, do you like those things are heavy even when empty?
Oh, I was gonna say it's got to be empty.
Yeah, I mean, but you still like it's just like kind of like one of those like awkward sizes.
What
too,
they
even-
should do is put a tap on the barrel, and then the winner has to take a pull of bourbon or whiskey from said barrel.
There you go.
See, why are you giving these ideas away for free? What are you doing?
Because I feel like they should at least send me a bottle of something just for that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean-
by the way, Lexington got new jerseys. Yay, nay. What we think about them? I like them. They look dope.
I was
I
gonna
like
say,
it.
like, I'm a fan of having shit that's out there, and I like the neon green. So yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I think as far as like obnoxious green jerseys go, they certainly are doing better with them than Omaha's done traditionally in the past. So it's a hard color. Like it's a surprisingly hard color to make like all
Well, it's just like
one-
that particular like neon is it's really hard to make that work.
Yeah, and I was like, I don't know, what do you call this? Like the gin and tonics or something? I don't know. But
Well, they call it the Spark Kit, which
I like my name better.
Sure.
Stop giving kids names. Just gonna say that. Just
Yeah, that
be
too.
like, here's a jersey. Spend money.
Well, not to shit talk on Greenville, but someone was asking why they were wearing like a really smudgy jersey yesterday. I was like, oh, well, that's their lunar landing jersey. Like the guy who helped develop some telemetry equipment that might have been on the lunar landing modules from Greenville. And they're like, oh, that seems like a stretch. It's like,
my
Yeah.
only
Gotta do something
complaint
with a
about
white
the
kit.
Lexington kit, the logo sponsor should have been in black.
All right.
That's my only critique.
yeah, but no, it looks good. I think it's cool that little rivalry they have going. I think it's even funnier because they just kind of ignore Chattanooga, which I'm petty. I think that's funny. But no, I mean, I think it's cool that we have two teams that started off very geographically close to each other so fast, and they've kind of found this little niche in the league where they can kind of banter back and forth. And it should be a fun game, even though I think Knoxville's going to win pretty handily.
All right. Moving on to the third game of the week. We got Tormenta versus Richmond.
Snooze fest.
Why did you pick out your vibes then?
Because
she don't know what she want to do, bro. She put Fuego at 8. All of a sudden, Richmond can't defend.
Wait.
Well, her vibe is nap time.
yeah,
I believe it.
It's going to be a 1-0 game because Richmond can't score. And Tormenta can't.
3 against them. What?
Nah.
The math ain't mathing.
And Tormenta can't do anything right now. So this is a game where you're going to be like, yeah.
Let me ask you a serious question. Did you look at this at the last video? It was like, fuck it.
No, I actually looked at it like 2 days ago when Kyle sent it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Better than
I don't know how to describe this game. It could go either way.
I don't disagree with Eb though. It seems like you kind of have a Richmond.
I like the 1-0 Richmond win.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's wrong. Like Tormenta just is kind of there right now, unfortunately. Because I like Tormenta, but I think Richmond also has some struggles of their own. So, I don't know. Like, it's not the game I would tell someone to watch if they were trying to get into League One.
I think it still gives you like a solid. It's a solid game. It's just going to be a solid boring game. It's if you had a Chelsea fan and you said, "Hey, do you want to see what your team would look like if you had $50 million less dollars?" This is the game for you.
It would be less one guy.
True.
Not even.
No.
500 million.
The GDP of a nation is not your transfer budget this year.
Okay.
All right. Well, that should be interesting. We'll see. And we're saying all this. That'll be like a 6-6 game.
6-5 barn burner, 3 fights, 6 red cards. Bolt comes over the top and just starts wailing on the Kickaroo. Like it's gonna.
Only thing we hear next is bang.
Honestly, that would be super cool.
All right. Next game we got Omaha versus Madison. In the shut the fuck up derby. Because that's what I really feel like. I'm telling you, this podcast that we're gonna do on these names is gonna be hilarious.
Is it a derby? Upward intonation ? Parentheses yes. Close parentheses.
There we go. That's the name of it.
No.
Do you like this?
I mean, these games are always punchy.
Close.
Yeah. Both these teams play each other really tight. The game they gave us earlier in the year was really exciting. I'm going to go ahead and say with the 2 biggest drawing teams in the league, it's going to be a draw. 2-2.
No.
Whoa.
I want to win.
I do
goals.
too. I love shit talking Madison fans when we beat you guys. Unfortunately, it's always a draw. I'd have, but
fuck it,
no.
Madison. Fuck it.
Did you say 1-1 Madison and he said 2-2?
I said 2-1.
Oh,
fuck it.
But no, I mean it's always fun.
Madison.
It's always fun when these teams play. You've got our 2 Midwestern teams. They always play close. It's always a tough game. It's definitely one of those like to try to avoid sports cliches, but there's definitely like.
So this is going to be a classic Big Ten matchup.
Oh,
boys in the trenches.
Okay, if this was Wisconsin versus Nebraska in Big Ten football, Wisconsin would mop the floor. It'd be fine.
Right. I mean, Nebraska football is horrible. But no, I mean, these guys, they're always like real physical games, real tough games, just like the Omaha Tucson games. And you get some like ref that's like never reffed League One before, and they allow them to like fist fight for the first 10 minutes of like, oh wait, this is getting out of hand. I better like just drop like 7 cards all of a sudden. It was something like that Omaha Madison game at the beginning of the year was responsible for 10% of that ref's total yellow cards in his entire career calling games.
Jesus Christ.
There was like 12.
This will be vibes, and it will. Yeah, I'm picking this as vibes.
How is there going to be 6 yellow cards in a vibes game?
There's 12. Like half of Madison's starting lineup got yellow cards. Like it was
some bullshit. That's all I know.
Well,
Anyway,
again, like the ref lost, and I don't like ref conversation much, but the ref I think was over their head. They didn't know it was going to be so physical. Both teams came out and they did what Omaha and Madison do when they play each other. It was real tough, real physical. All of a sudden, the ref's like, "Oh crap, I got to do something to get this
and that
game
first
in check."
game of the season energy as
Yeah.
well.
And so it got out of hand, and it is what it is. And speaking of free content ideas, someone joked that I was rooting for the refs last night, so it spawned this idea of having a fantasy league for USL 1 refs.
Absolutely.
Where you get points for cards and like bad calls.
Look, I'm trying my best not to complain about refs, and the last thing I need is to know refs' names. Okay, I already know if Jarvis is out there, there's going to be bullshit. All right, I don't need a Jarvis situation.
Have they announced the ref assignments yet? Because that'd be hilarious if it was Jarvis.
They probably have, and I'm too afraid to look.
It probably is Jarvis. He has it circled on his calendar. He's like, I want that one.
Gabrielle. Oh, okay. Well, Gabrielle Champy. I don't know.
We'll see. Last but not least is the condom derby. Noco versus Fuego.
Yep.
Condom derby.
It's fire and ice.
So they can't name this fire and ice because
the
of the condom.
Named fire
they
and
have
ice.
to name it ice.
The league called it the fire and ice derby without realizing really it was the brand of
no
condom and lube.
By the way, that just shows me that no one in the league office uses condoms.
Good for them
because they didn't know the name of it.
Paul game week.
You see this line? I'm just
saying. Look, my theory proves itself right. Because you should have sat there in a meeting and no one pointed out, this is the name of a condom. We might not want to call it that. If I'm lying, I'm dying.
Well, in fairness, too, like if we're looking for like a shoehorn derby for NOCO, which I mean, I guess hail is ice, but it's like, wouldn't you go with like Tormenta and call it like the Battle of the Storms?
What are we doing? What is this?
Anyways,
we're not giving them.
We're getting ahead on our idea for our off-season derby content. But the interesting thing about this is, if you haven't been following Twitter.com, the NOCO Hailstorm shares a stadium in common ownership with the NOCO Owls with a Z for some reason, because it's late 90s, I guess. They had to postpone their game in the 4th inning because they didn't have lights behind home plate. And so it's apparently an interesting situation there. They've brought in lights for this weekend that are powered by a generator. So hopefully,
even though they moved the game back to 4 p.m.
Yes. Well, I think the league sees colors of Chattanooga and it's like, it's storm season in the Midwest. Yeah, you're going to play at 4 just in case.
Look, they got a stadium. All right. I didn't think that shit was actually.
Yeah, I don't think any of us thought that they would have a stadium. So good for
them.
It's
baby steps.
It's 90% done, 80% done, 75% done, but they've got a stadium and they're playing games there.
It exists.
Yeah. All right.
There's a Google Maps for it now.
I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm kind of disappointed we have not seen the league built this up as a quote unquote rivalry week, because every game is a rivalry in some way. I'm surprised the league hasn't took advantage of that.
We should just do that for them and do a bunch of it's rivalry week and see if we can get anybody to bite on it. Piss somebody off. Omaha Madison's not a rivalry.
They were already pissed off.
Oh yeah, they're always pissed off. Omaha fans are pissed off. What about?
I'm actually going to look at the schedule and see if there actually is a week that's like, oh wait, this might be the rivalry week.
Well, I mean, I think if you have something that's even close, you just call it rivalry week. Because why the hell not?
Yeah, over promote to promote. That's how we do it.
All these games are on Saturday, by the way, so that's a nice thing. It's all one day.
Yeah.
Well, exactly. It's rivalry Saturday. Clear out your couch, get some popcorn, get some cold beer. It's long weekend.
So the vibes games for this week that we all got, the ruling majority is Omaha versus Madison.
Only two people chose that.
There's a reason why. It's Doko versus Fuego, the condom derby. How do you not go with that?
Because that's more likely to be chaotic than anything else.
Yeah.
No.
There might not be a match.
This is vibes. You know why? I got a crappy defense out of Fuego. I got a hot attack in Noko. I got no lights. I got condom packets all over the floor.
That sounds like chaos.
That's
going to work out.
Highly chaotic.
Well, then Ebony's vibes apparently nap time because she's like, this game's going to be boring. Who's going to watch this?
Exactly. For chaos, the leading majority was Charlotte versus Chattanooga. There will be a fight in this game. I'm sure of it.
You're asking me to trust two teams that don't defend, that play physical, and one of them's old. You're expecting me to expect any... It's not going to be a good match to watch.
Oh, no. It's not going to be good to watch. But
this is going to suck. This is going to be like Chelsea playing Southampton. It's just going to be bad viewing for everyone. But you're hoping some dumb shit happens.
It'll be fun. It'll be fun. So the goal line, we set the line at 16. Me and Chuck believe there will be 17 goals scored. Kyle, once again, is not in favor of goals being scored at all. He went with 11 matchups. Eb is betting the house. She went with 19. So, and do we have anywhere tracking who's been in the lead so far with this?
No.
Okay.
No.
I guess I'll go back and do that, but
yeah, I'm just saying, Charlotte, Chattanooga. That does not sound like a
He said there's gonna be more. He said there's gonna be more fights than goals in that game, so that's fair.
Omaha Madison is always a close affair. Even though I'm saying 2-1 win, more than 4 goals would be shocking. Tormenta Richmond, I was already said it's going to be a snooze fest. And you're expecting me to have a lot of goals? Like, you're asking a lot out of Noko to score a lot of goals.
I'm just
and
saying.
then Lexington Knoxville might be that one might be a high scoring match.
I'm just saying it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Yo, I think that's enough for this week's. Any last things before we wrap up the show?
All right, so a couple things. So we're going into June, which means Henny Derby is coming up Juneteenth.
Pride is
coming up. I don't know if I want some of these teams celebrating Pride, but that's another conversation for another day. It's gonna be a fun couple of weeks, and I'm super excited. There's a lot of soccer happening around all of these teams, like with so go to your local team, go to your local game, have fun, do all the things, drink Hennessy, not too much though, because I've got some recipes coming out and we're ready for it.
If you're gonna drink Hennessy, you got to do it like the tip drill video. And if you have never seen the tip drill video, I advise you to go watch it now.
$20
to anybody to record themselves doing the tip drill video at a tailgate.
Absolutely not.
Here's that line.
No cameras.
I'm already in favor of bringing back Freak Meat.
No. I was about to say.
Freak Meat.
Which that was ridiculous. I don't know why.
That was not ridiculous. I never said people thought I was going to participate. I'm not participating. I'm just saying someone needs to bring it back. Possibly Atlanta. It used to be the former home of it. Let's start it back there.
There's a reason why people are worried about what's going to come out of that doc.
They're not ready to see their mama on a table, okay?
They know we're ready to see their mama getting back blown out. You know we're ready to see that?
We were right here with that
Imagine
line.
you eating dinner and you're like, oh, let me put the Freak Meat documentary on.
Why would you do that for dinner?
Bow, 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 bow.
What kind of dinner are you having?
Chip, are you coming to Henny Derby? Say no. Save yourself.
I'm not.
Why are you? What kind of dinner are you fucking having?
I'm just saying. You're just like, I want to put something on. Let me put this on real quick. Next thing you know, pow, pow, pow.
That'd be a really funny.
God.
That'd be a really funny thing for me to like live tweet though. Like, what's going on? Because like Yogi, when I met him in Richmond, was like, pretty reserved before the game. Just like a king holding court with all the Richmond fans coming to the the dive bar, drinking PBR. You know, just a master statesman working the room.
Chilling.
I feel like at this, it's not going to be the same Yogi. This is Yogi after dark Yogi. It's like, Yogi, it's noon. And Yogi's like, it's after dark.
Oh, for Henny Derby?
Yeah, he's just going to come out in like a crushed velvet jacket.
Oh, we're
with, like,
going to be drunk for 2.5 days. I still have to get back to Raleigh for my Juneteenth game.
I'm going to be chilling. I'm just saying. You only got one life to live. Why not spend it drinking?
So I'm supposed to shake ass and drink Henny?
Yeah! Shit, that's what you do in the club anyway.
Well, I will shake my ass and drink Henny at the BHC tailgate that day.
Just saying.
So maybe we'll get a video.
I'm just saying. Has anyone ever complained when they have an ass in front of them shaking and they got drinks? Has anyone ever complained?
I mean, it certainly depends on whose ass.
See?
And usually when it's Henny, it's a thick one. I'm just saying.
But if you're recording it,
you're
going to get people in trouble.
Once again, I am not participating. I just put the idea out there. I'm the person that puts the idea out there and let other people run with it.
So he's breaking up happy homes, just not his home.
I already said I'm
my
going to
house
be
in a
Sting.
divorce.
I'm going to be Sting. I'm going to be way up in the rafters, and I will be watching.
What
like
rafters?
I'm like
I'll
Don
build
King.
rafters.
I'll
For
take
if that
all
happens,
the credit, and yet none of the responsibility of when things go wrong.
Kyle's just going to be sitting on top of a ladder.
I'm like, what rafters? Everything goes into
you're trying
a
to
bowl.
Grego the Henny Derby is what you're trying to. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to Don King this.
I am 100%.
Well, at least you're admitting that you're Don Kinging it, unlike Grego.
Oh yeah. You know, I put the ideas out there. If people want to execute it, great. If not, great.
I
way.
don't want it. I don't trust anyone that's executing it. I'm gonna have questions.
Either way, we have some really cool people coming from a lot of different places. Out here, we got Chicago pulling up, maybe LA, Atlanta. I know the Forward crew is coming. Gino, always New England.
It'll be a blast.
I'm not gonna lie. Gino is the most random ass black person I know because he's like the only black person I know that is accepted in the Northeast. Like this man moves anywhere in between Boston and Rhode Island, and I'm like, I've never seen a black person do this freely.
You gotta go to New Haven then. You gotta go to New Haven, Connecticut.
He is the most famous person I know in the Northeast. So
yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
I forgot what
I hope everybody.
I'm still traumatized from free Nick during dinner.
Just saying, man. So you don't never just turn on Hulu and be like, I'm just eating. Let me just put something on the TV real quick.
No!
Little background.
In this show. in this show.
I have 2 kids. It's already chaotic enough. I don't need Freak Nick in the background.
I thought I was
teach them the pastimes. You got to teach them the era of our elders' ways.
They can do that at Carnival. When they're old enough, they can go down for Carnival and get that experience. And that is something that I can just let them go and enjoy. I don't need.
And my wife thinks I'm weird for putting on Mahler 5 during dinner.
What is that?
It's a classic symphony.
What?
So hold on, let me get this straight. Y'all coming at me for putting on a documentary about black history, and this man over here playing the
not call
You're
that.
both in the wrong.
Do not call that black history in this show.
You are both in the wrong. That's the thing.
I am not in the wrong. I want to know the history of Freak League so I can learn how to perfect it and add this into my future stadium. Okay.
Goodbye. I'm no.
But why during dinner?
No.
I'm trying to eat. I'm trying to have a nice meal.
You can have it on the background. Be like, oh, Sam, oh shit, I know her mama. Look at her.
It's like people are like, oh yeah, I want to go to Magic City and have wings. Like, you're not there for the wings. You're lying to yourself.
How do you know I'm not there for the wings? They have amazing wings. Chip, don't run away from this conversation. We will not disrespect Magic City wings like this. You understand me?
I'm not disrespecting. I'm just saying, like, you get that shit to go. You don't just sit there and eat your wings while you're sitting there.
I will say, I suppose I'm
try.
proud of the fact that I know what Magic City is. I know what we're referencing.
My wings. I don't want my wings to be
I'm proud of
cold.
you,
They make
Chip.
them hot. I want to eat my wings hot. It is just so happy.
Eat it outside like a grown ass adult.
No. Why? Why would I eat my wings outside?
Why
Why
would you sit there?
Chip,
and
why
you got
are we
ass
still
in your
here?
face and you got greasy ass hands?
It is not my
You're
fault.
dirty.
My chicken
You are
wings
dirty.
are made in a strip club. Okay,
On
it is
behalf
not
of
my
me,
fault.
on behalf of me, Chip, Yogi, and
I'm
Kyle.
just saying, it's not
This
my
is
fault.
unsanitary.
It's a really great League One interviews planned with the front office. We'll see if we still have those offers.
You know what? I'm gonna ask the DEI person from USL League One. Do you support Freak D coming to USL League One? Do you want your chicken wings from Magic City? I guarantee you he'll say yes.
You all have a wonderful evening. If you stuck around and listened to these last 6 minutes, you are a saint, and I owe you $5.
Let me know if you eating the chicken wings in the establishment.
I'll put that in the Spotify
Support your local
poll.
strippers.
I'll put that in the poll
Okay.
so people can answer it on Spotify.
Goodbye.
Tip
Oh
drill
my
video,
God.
y'all. Go watch it. It's artwork.